what's coming to you. The world should go and everything in it.
Alrighty, welcome. G'day. I'm just going to do a quick audio check, make sure everything's good. Sorry, audio check. Cool. Alrighty, welcome. Hope you guys stick around for today's stream. So we're just going to be mucking around with Selenium. A little cold outside, so yeah, it's got a bit of a cough. Alrighty, I'm also a little bit sick this morning, so been tested. It's all good. But yeah. Alrighty, so today we're going to be mucking around with some Selenium. It's just going to be really trying to understand what we can actually do with Selenium and what new changes have been made to it, which we can take advantage of. So let's just go ahead, install a module, and seeing if there's anything new. While we do that, I'm going to have a quick looky-loo on GitHub, and we'll see if there's anything that's of interest there. Because I know that they were thinking of adding searching of the nodes to so you can actually search without having to use a third-party tool like the HTMLAgilityPack. So let's have a look at that. Go. Let's have a look. So a couple of things I want to have a play around with today is to work out, is it possible to use Microsoft Edge? How can it interact with Edge? Does it use add-ons? And we're just going to just have a bit of fun with it and see what we can do. Yep, okay, so still got that. Click on element, send keystrokes, run Chrome, find and wait for an element. Yep. Okay. So it looks like you're using a custom class. Okay. So we do a timeout, apply ID logo. Okay, and we stop SC driver. Okay, cool. Cool. All right, let's have a bit of a muck around with that and seeing if there's anything else that we can use in there. So we got Selenium in. Actually, we're gonna report it. Actually, okay. I haven't used this for ages. I know that there's a you got Internet Explorer. Okay, well, let's do New Edge. Let's do New Edge. Oh, okay. Firstly, it's broken. All right. Edge must be version 79. So we need to have a looky-loo at Microsoft Edge. Let's go have a look at that. Version 92. So We're version 92. So the drivers, the drivers under the hood, the wrong version. So we need to go and get some new ones. So let's go and do that. Actually, there's an easy way to do this. I actually have it in my documentation. Microsoft Edge. Okay, cool. Let's. So we're version 97. Oh no, sorry, 92. What did it want? 79. Okay, yeah, it's a little far behind. It's a little far behind. So what we can do is download this bad boy. While we do that, we can go and grab the Selenium. Where did it go? We can go and get the path to Selenium. Cool. And what we can do is just grab that. That's that there. Let's go have a look. Okay, so under here you have the assemblies. We're just going to replace the MS Edge drivers. Let's quickly do that. Oh no, what? I've changed it, have they? Oh no, it's just down the bottom. So we're just going to go to the Edge driver. First things first, I'm going to make sure when I extract the file, or before I do that, I unblock it, just to make sure that it's proper. Extract the files. And I'm going to grab MS Edge driver, and we're just going to paste it in there. There is a okay, so we just need to close the Selenium module. Should replace it. Cool, which it does. And then we've got a 256 thing, which it doesn't use for the moment. But if we did, we just need to do a get file hash on that, and then just update that file, which is fine. Cool. Terminated an error. Just restart it. Yes, please. So let's go ahead and restart it and see how we go now. So if we import module Selenium, don't even need to do this. You can just go to start. Let's see, new Edge. Let's have a look. There we go. It's installed, and we are somewhat cooking with gas. USB handle, okay. File description, device attached to the system is not functioning. Okay, we're getting lots of errors. Let's just go to google.com and see if that works. It doesn't look like it's working. You can see here. Well, I firstly, let's see if I actually have access to anything. So, let's just do a find SE element. I haven't done this in ages. Let me just quickly go and have a quick look at what they're doing. Okay, let's just do this. We just go. No, we've already got that. We've already started the driver. Did we start the driver? I don't think we started the driver. We just started with New Edge. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and close it. Let's actually start the driver this time rather than. Okay, this is how we do it now. Looks like it. So yeah, that's how we start it now. Okay, cool. All right. So if that's the case, we should then be able to. Does that mean my code's broken? Give me 2 seconds, sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to quickly have a look at my code. I just want to see how it's starting it. Because we might have a bug and the whole module's not working, which means I need to fix it. Private commandlets. Let's have a quick look. Get contribution areas. Yeah, I invoke MVP activity. No, it's connect. It's connect. It's connect. It's connect. It's a public commandlet. It connects the MVP portal. Okay, no, it uses the old one. Yeah, it uses the good old one. Cool. All right, sweet. I was a little panicky there. I was like, did something change and it broke it out? But it didn't. We're good. We're good. And we're still getting this. We're still getting right back. So to the console, which I would say is not good. It's probably a good assumption. It's probably because of the fact that we're not browse to Google. Well, let's just browse to Google so it can actually have some. It can actually try and catch some content. It's interesting how it's actually trying to access assets.msn. Yeah, that's very interesting. So it's still trying to function like Edge. Oh, excuse me. But the one thing which is interesting is that it doesn't actually load the install this site as an app. Oh, interesting. It doesn't seem like it actually loads. Interesting as well. I'm just going to see if I can get to Outlook Office.com. Does it keep? No, we have to log in. Okay. So there's still a login element, which means that it's not using auto sign in. Now the next thing I want to quickly do is I want to install an extension. So let's install. Okay, we're going to turn on the extensions. And let's find out if Edge actually preserves it. Okay, okay. Oh, interesting. It auto signed me in. Interesting. So authentication is happening. It signed me in. So I installed the Microsoft Rewards add-on and it's automatically signed me in. That's interesting. I didn't think it could do that because it's running in its kind of a sandboxed environment. But it does have access to the local system resources. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and close it. Let's just go stop. Nah, we can just restart PowerShell. It's easier to do that way. I'm lazy like that. It's Java. Okay, so we're going to start new Edge. We're just going to give it a URL. And we're just going to go www.google.com. Oh, HTTPS. Okay. Okay, first things first, you can see it hasn't loaded any extensions again. So you have to reinstall extensions every time, unless there's a method that we can work under the hood to do that and capture the extension install process and how it actually does that and manually install the extension when it invokes it. That's a possibility. But we can muck around with that. So the next thing is what can we do? Can it actually perform a search? So let's just quickly grab this. Get SC element. Okay, we're just going to use get SC element. I haven't done this in a while, so I've got to kind of have a look. So what we're going to do is just look at the search box. Easiest way to do that is have a bit of a looky-loo here. Does it have an ID? It doesn't. It has a class, so let's just go get SC element. By class name. Oh, I haven't done this in ages. What's... Ah, okay. They've changed it. It's going to try class name parameter. Okay, there it is. It's right. Okay, so... Oh, and we should have to be able to provide the driver. Okay, so compound class names are not allowed. Cannot have white space in class name. Okay, so that's firstly very interesting, is that we can't do that. So what we can do here is let's just simplify it. And let's have a look. Okay, we do have a class. Okay, so it's workable. It's workable. It's workable. So that means... Interesting. Okay, so we should be able to then just send SC text to that element. What's the element called? Elements. Great. So let's just go send SC keystrokes. So keys, the element, elements, keys. Let's just go 1, 2, 3. See if this added it. Yep, perfect. All right. And if we go and find the search, honestly, easiest way to do that is find the actual box. How's it? Honestly, I want to do this. We're just going to send enter. It just makes it a little easier. Yeah, there we go. Open QA. So this is the actual method of sending enter, which is cool. I've never known about that. So that's type. I'm just going to close this down. That type. Cat fluff in my fundamental lines. Yuck. That type is is what we invoke, which is interesting because I want to actually have to see what else is available. So let's have a quick look before we do that. Easiest way, let's just go and have a file. Let's just dump it in here. Switch it to PowerShell. We've got add, alt, arrow down, arrow up, cancel, command, control, decimal, delete, divide. There's a lot here, absolute lot. Look at that. Wow, okay, cool. All right, so that's actually good to know. Okay, so what we can do now is we can just go send SE keys, element. We can actually just send it to the same thing. And then what we do is we wrap this bad boy in parentheses, so tell it to send an enter. And there we go. Cool. All right, so now if we get the driver, we can dump out. I wish it didn't have to muck around. Oh, we didn't have to muck around with all the content. Okay, so we've got all these methods. And this is the thing is that you've got to be very careful when using these methods, because I found back in the day is that if I use these methods, you could crash the driver. So it was always best to use the commandlets within reason. But what I'm wanting to do As you can see here, we've got find element by XPath. That's cool. That's what I've been looking for. Can we actually do an XPath search with Selenium? Because if we can, it means that we don't necessarily have to use a third-party thing like the HTMLAgilityPack. We can actually just use Selenium, which is much easier and simpler and more maintainable. So let's have a look. Okay, so preferably, you can also find elements, but preferably, the rule of thumb for me is that if I want to be able to select an element, if I'm looking for an element on the screen, obviously always use ID. But a lot of the, obviously you can see with the compiled code that they're using, whether it's React and things like that, they don't use IDs. So the next thing you want to use is try and look at the CSS, but the CSS is not accurate. It's not as succinct as the ID. And then following that, you can use the XPath. The XPath is good when you're looking for a specific thing inside a specific div. So it makes it really easy to look for things like that. But the problem with that is that you have obviously XPath is, well, it's quite complicated. So that's always the challenge with XPath. But, and there's a but, it's worth it. XPath is way, way better method of finding stuff if you can use it. But if you can get away with the ID or the CSS, you go ahead and use it. It's no, but it could be subject to change. All right, so one of the cool things is that, especially in the dev tools nowadays, you can actually go and just get the XPath and generate an XPath. So let's see if we can do it here. Copy full XPath. Cool. So you can actually just select, it's so much easier to do that. So you can see here we're HTML body div number 4. It's obviously better to not have an index div, but you can kind of get the jazz of this. Okay, so what we're going to do here is let's go and have a look at. I really don't like this. I'm just going to say define PowerShell because I don't really want these terrible ads. So let's try and find the div information on this entire top level div. So you can see here, I'm going to click in the div and I'm just going to hunt around for it. Let's see if we can find it. So it'll be around here somewhere. We're going to keep going up the list. Man, there's a lot of divs just to actually like have the, oh no, because it's got the more images, that's why. Anyway. We'll keep it going up, keep going up. Okay, so that's the results. That's the sidebar. So let's go ahead and click on that. And what we're going to do is just go and copy the full XPath. So now what we can do is jump back into that command line. And let's see if we can actually get this element by XPath. So find SE element. Let's see if we can say by XPath. No valid target was provided. Okay. Look at that. That's cool. Okay. So we can actually target the XPath. The question is, can we get any more information on that? Because I don't just want the XPath, I want all the subsequent HTML below it. Like, okay, so the first thing you can see here is we've got an additional elements that we can search on this element. So let's see if we can actually do that. Hmm. So what we're going to do, we're just going to do a find SE element, and we're just going to find something inside of that thing here. So let's have a look. Let's have a look for this. You can see that none of these divs have IDs at all. It kind of makes it a little hard to work with. And if they're obfuscating the classes, it's going to get pretty hard. And I can actually see that happening in the future. Is that React, Google, like all the new languages will start dynamically obfuscating their class names so that automation can't actually be done against it. Or it's going to be a lot harder to do that. So you could write, honestly, you could just write smarts in it to basically figure it out. So like, you look at the text, the results, and you can kind of backtrack from there. But doing the classic matching approach won't work in this sense. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go and have a look at this. So you go data ID, which is nothing. Tab indexing, that's nothing. So what we're going to do is just grab that. And let's see if we can grab another secondary element, child element of that. So what we're going to do is just go find SE element, CSS name. Class name, find SE element, class name. Helps if I can spell, which it had. You can see there. I'm just going to dump that and have a look at what we've got. Interesting. Okay, so we can search within that. Now that the thing that I'm interested is, can we search for specific text? Which I believe we should be able to. So let's look for something unique. Let's just look for the versioning information. So we've got a span here. Let's go ahead and grab that. And let's see if we can actually get the span class. G'day, how you going? And no worries. So can we use Selenium to target specific items? So now we've actually, all right, let's go back up. So the element is this. So this is what we've got. We've got this whole element. We'll see if we can do a search by text. Let's see how we go. Official link text, tag name, XPath, class name, CSS. I don't think we can find it by I think we can use text. I've always found that using PowerShell for web-related things is pretty messy from my limited experience. Yes and no. So with regards to API integration, it's the same as Curl, Python. It's obviously got a full-blown um, it's got a full-blown REST client, so you can actually obviously send REST queries. You can also use SOAP as well. With regards to obviously working with Selenium and things like that in the web front, it's painful. Personally, it's still, for me, it's still probably easier to use the HTMLAgilityPack because I'm looking at this now. One of the things I want to be able to do is actually search for text. Now, if you could do that natively, that would be fantastic. However, I don't believe we can. Um, and I know the HTMLAgilityPack can do this kind of thing. So let's just quickly fire up, open another folder, go to Git. Okay, so if we go to, this is just my module. So you can see here, we can load the HTMLAgilityPack and just basically pass the HTML in from the MVP driver, from the Selenium driver, and then from that we can see the we can then actually go ahead and look for the child nodes. I think in this approach, I'm still going to need to load the HTMLAgilityPack in to do that because I don't believe, like searching for text on a screen is pretty difficult, but with a HTMLAgilityPack, it makes it really easy to use and to be able to search for stuff. I haven't used it for a while, so there's probably a whole bunch of new features, but I'm just mucking around at the moment because I want to make sure that if there is any sort of if there's any sort of methodology that we can use to be able to actually do that, then we should be trying to do that. Oh, and I just closed and reopened my code. All right, well, let's just go ahead and reload the driver then. My driver crash. Looks like it did. Okay, so first thing is let's go and reload our driver. There's our driver. Let's just go to PowerShell. I can't bother searching for it here. Now there is another way that we can use it. There's another way we can use it. Are all the books behind me computer related? No, they're not. There's probably a small faction of them that they are. Most of them are my wife's. So what we can do. So how's your week been? Let's have a quick look at this. So the reason why I really like this is actually something that is really cool about the HTMLAgilityPack is you can search for the text, but what it allows you to do is it actually return the parent div. So what it means is that you could actually go, all right, I want to search for this specific line, which is, stable release version 7.1.3. And what it will do is that text, which is going to be a span class, it will return the div parent. And so you can just go and up, you can kind of search down and then go back up. sorry, you can search down and go all the way back up, which is really, really cool. So I find that there's it's a lot easier to kind of have both methodologies of searching HTML content, whether you want to go from top down or you want to go bottom up. In this instance, I think the bottom up method is a little bit easier to manage because you can actually just go ahead and search for those endpoints. But that's fine though. So what we can do here is let's load the HTMLAgilityPack. So might as well go ahead and download it. How many times has it been downloaded? Who knows? That many times. It's awesome. One of my favorite third-party DLLs. And like, there's no real PowerShell module for it. You just go and load the DLL. So that's one thing I love about this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna just go get it from NuGet. So all we can do is let's go ahead and just download our package. Go ahead and open that up. Paste that in my non-git Selenium. These kind of definitely go hand in hand. They definitely go hand in hand. They really work well together. So if you, one of the things that, I'm just going to stop that and restart. One of the things I find is that the HTMLAgilityPack has a, it has, okay, sorry. So Selenium is a PowerShell module. The HTMLAgilityPack isn't. It's actually a NuGet package that's designed for C#. But where there's C#, there's PowerShell. And so what we can do is just go ahead and actually rename this to zip. So if you're not a zip, it's a zip. One of the things that it can do is agility. Okay, cool. One of the things that it is really good at doing is handling the. Did you unzip? You didn't. Okay. I'm just going to do this. See if it wants a destination path. There we go. Really good managing that the session. So you can see here we've got a whole bunch of different stuff. Because we're in .NET Core, we're going to just go .NET Core 4.5. That's the latest build. Let's go ahead and copy that path. So what we can do now is just go add type. Pack. And then we can just go add type. Oops, make sure always put it in a quotes. And there we go. We have liftoff. Shouldn't there be a destination path parameter set to yeah, you can set a destination parameter path, but I was just being lazy. It'll just extracted it to the just extracted it to a new directory, which is what I wanted to do anyway, so I couldn't really care less. Now, if you're writing code, yeah, you probably want to, but obviously in this instance, we can kind of get away with it because we're just mucking around. So the first thing with the HTMLAgilityPack is that we're going to actually just go up and open. Open Firefox in a private browser, but I'm pretty sure it's already on. So what I'll do is just drag this tab over. Get over. There we go. So so what we can do is in here, we can go ahead and look at its demos. So you can see here, first thing we need to do is load a HTML document. So what we can do here, I'm just going to drag that on the other screen. I kind of wish I could do two screens here, but anyway. So we've got a type which is HTML document. Oh, okay, that's thingy. So let's just create a document. We can just go HTML agility pack. Let's just see if we have that type. Documents, see if it's there. Okay, so that type doesn't exist. I know what, I just can't remember what it was. Just quickly go and jump. Let's open up another VS Code. What did they do? Okay, so it's the okay, cool. All right. We got this. So it's just the HTML agility pack dot. Whoops. HTML document. Peter. Okay, cool. So we've got a document, and so this is kind of our top level item, which we can then load a file into that. So you can actually pass. You can actually just pass the HTML from Selenium into this, and it will just automatically format that for that. Do you have any sort of certifications? MCSA and MVP. MVP is an award, but MCSA. So yeah, that's about it. It's not really. I honestly, certifications gotten to the point where I've kind of given up on them because they're always continually going. So I generally just spend a bit of time on Microsoft Learn and learn it that way. But there's always 1,000 certifications for people to study. And you get to the point where you go, okay. All right, so okay, so what we can do here is within our document, I think there's a method called there's a method called load HTML. So we can actually pass HTML into that. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is just start our driver again. So start SE driver URL. Start URL. We're just going to go HTTPS. And then from that, what we're going to do is say, well, we can just go ahead and run that. So now we've got that driver here. We can just go ahead and get the driver. And you can see here we've got the text. So let's just find where it is. Where is it? Where is it? I just don't want to have to go and try and find the methods. Where's that property say they are? URL, web storage, where is it? Page source. So we go page source. This probably wasn't a good idea. Okay, it's not page source. Where is it? Application cache. What is it? I thought it was page source. Pretty sure it's page source. Unless I just broke the driver. I just broke the driver. That's why it's not working. So this is one of the things is that you got to be very careful with Selenium because you don't know if you've killed the driver or not. So it's a very delicate flower that needs to be Would you recommend going for the MCSA and being done with certifications after that? I've been pondering going for MCSA. Honestly, don't do MCSA. Go and get Azure certs. Get your 900s. That's really it. Like, if you go get your Azure certs, you're fine. Really, really good site you can go to is Microsoft Learn. They've got excellent stuff there. I usually kind of try and spend a bit, or at least, I try and spend once a fortnight on that, and just jump on there and just go and learn something. So they have really, really good stuff. They've finally added like tooling so you can actually go and sandbox it. So recently I've been working quite extensively with IoT Hub, looking at IoT Hub in great depth, and also mucking around with Azure Identity, looking around and understanding the identity side of things. And so it's a really good learning tool. And if you choose the material that's provided there means that once you've done it, you can then go and have a go at the certification. So yeah, you said 900s and things like that. And honestly, I probably could go and grab it, but I just really hate certifications. Maybe one day I might do it and just go and get it done and get it over and done with. But I just really hate certifications. It's one of the things that drive me nuts. And for some reason, I get really nervous at an exam. Even though if I might be perfectly fine, I'm still super nervous. All right, so let's go ahead and see if it's the page source. It is the page source. We've just basically have a broken, we've just had a broken link. But this is cool. So what we can do now is, so we're going to go ahead and create a HTMLAgilityPack. Oh, we've got to actually load the type. So let's go and load the type. Okay. But actually, there we go. Now we've got our document. I'm just going to copy and paste that there. So now what we can do is we can go document. I'm just going to go here and go load HTML. And we can actually just pass page source, not pass text. Driver. Well, it's not document, driver. We can pass the page source. So now we can use HTMLAgilityPack to perform our logic matching. So what we can do here, oh boy, I think I just crashed it again. Did I? Nope. Why is it not working? That should work. Yeah, that's what I thought. Sorry, I'm just getting annoyed because this should have worked. Why is it not working? It's not returning anything. That should have loaded the HTML. All right, back off to my secondary project. How did I load that? Yeah, load HTML. Yeah, as page source. All right, what shenanigans are happening here? All right, so it could be the fact that it's .NET Core. There's always these kinds of things, but I don't think I had that issue. Well, let's take my word for it. Okay, yes, the string HTML. Okay, what's driver? Unless it did load it, it's just a null. It's a void method, that's why, dirt. Okay, so we can load the HTML by doing that. And now if we query document, there we go, cool, all right. So what we can actually do in here now is you have a lot more flexibility being able to actually search for content. So where Selenium doesn't really have that full ability to be able to actually do searching for specific text, in here we do. So what we can do now is actually have a bit of a looky-loo. So let's see. Hang on, I'm just gonna jump back to my original one. What are we doing here? HTML. Yeah, so you can get element by ID, which is what you can already do. But we're not gonna do that. We're going to search for text. How did we do this? How did we do this? I think we still need, maybe we still needed to search by ID. Maybe. But I know that you could do XPath searching. Let's have a look at what we've got backwards compatibility. Okay, so that's our text. That's fine. Where is the actual object? It's been so long since I've done this. Go and have a look at the doco. Yep. Documentation, online examples. Where's HTML node? Is it document nodes? Oh, whoops. I'm like, why is this not working? It's either in the wrong one. It's PowerShell section. So if we go document node, this is what we're looking for. You want this. So then we can actually go select a node. So we can actually select our node. So let's go and have a look at what members we have. Now we're cooking with gas. You can retrieve obviously the XPath, which is really quite handy. So if you're wanting to ensure that you want to come back to it in the future, you can then just grab the XPath and then go and return that. The other idea is that here we can, if we look at where is it? Child nodes. So effectively we can go into the child nodes and you can actually see all the different nodes. So it allows you to get the top level and then go down and start actually looking for things. HTMLAgilityPack still wins out. It's way better than Selenium at this point in time. PowerShell Selenium anyway. And you can obviously, with that information, you can still see, okay, let's say we're in the child node. Let's just say CN equals. The one thing which is really cool is that we can actually do a get member and we can have a look at what properties we have. And you can actually go to the parent. And so by going beyond, you can actually traverse both down and up, which means that you're not particularly locked into any sort of certain methodology in terms of a search query or scraping capabilities. Yeah, school for me was like, I loved IT. Like that was really my passion. I loved learning everything about IT. The thing that really didn't get me is the fact that okay, so it's interesting. Veritasium actually put a video out. I don't know if you follow Veritasium on YouTube. He basically said there's no such thing as visual learners. And it's interesting because I believe the statistics that it shows is that people don't, like, they learn with a combination of different things. They have, but the thing is that it's most of the time, the summary is that most of the time it's clicks in your mind once you gain an understanding from a specific methodology. So a great example is for me is like I hate studying the same. Like I don't like formally sitting down and studying. However, if I actually enjoy teaching. Now, because of that, one of the things I enjoy doing is I actually then enjoy sitting down and studying because it forces my mind to ensure that what I talk about is correct. So I will sit down before, like, let's say I come up with a talk idea. A good example is in the PowerShell textbook that we're working on is constrained language mode. And one of the things that I really wanted to understand with constrained language mode is, oh, firstly, I didn't want to regurgitate everything that's already been regurgitated. That's just kind of a waste of money. I wanted to be able to add value to the book. And so for me to be able to add value to this book, one of the things I really wanted to understand is how constrained language mode works on a low level. So moving into how UMCI works and this where PowerShell Protect, oh sorry, not PowerShell Protect, where the really low level, there's so many different acronyms on it. But essentially what's really interesting about it is that even with the documentation, reviewing the documentation and understanding, for instance, types. So you have allowed types and non-allowed types within language modes. And within constrained language modes, there's a myriad of approved types. Any other type that you try and use won't be allowed. So the class statement in PowerShell is effectively null and void. You can't use custom classes. It's interesting though is that, for instance, is the methods that you can call. So you can't call approved. No. So this is an interesting thing about constrained language mode. Constrained language mode is a session configuration state. Oh, sorry. It's a PowerShell session that is not just defined for remoting. It's actually for other things as well. But the so there's multiple language modes. Constrained language mode was used in 8.1 as a means to be able to basically protect the entire stack of Windows. So all the way from the secure boot all the way up to the top level shell. Constrained language mode was there to facilitate that as well. But constrained language mode is I'm going to use air quotes here because you can use other language modes, but it's just constrained language mode that's really kind of supported. There are constrained language mode is used. It can be used in remoting, but it can also be used on the local machine as a means to be able to protect the console itself against malicious attack. So the interesting thing about constrained language mode is that yes, I like my big gripe about it is that you should actually be able to set session configuration state for the parent operating system. So for instance, if you have now you can do this hypothetically. So basically the way you'd have to do it is right now you'd have to use remote session configuration and then implicitly create a remote session back to the local machine. But this is kind of where it gets a little bit wonky because what's the point of doing that? But the thing is that with constrained language mode, with the session configuration state, is that you should be able to define other things than just constrained language mode. I would, like to see restricted and no language, other than approved commandlets. Other than approved scripts. But that's really where it gets very complicated, and there'll be a massive amount of rework to be able to support that under the hood. But ultimately, constrained language mode is something like, if we step back into the learning space, was something that I really wanted to understand and get my head around. So not just regurgitating from a book, but to be able to fully understand it and then bring value to it. And one of the things that a lot of, just kind of the little things is like going into the code and reading the actual C# and understanding how the C# actually manages the state when it's in constrained language mode. How does it interact with the UMCI? These kinds of things is very, very interesting to me. And one of the things that I found was that, for instance, with constrained language mode, is that if you run, for instance, get process in constrained language mode, let's say you got a string and you can go and get the type of that string. So you can go, define string, get type dot name, or call that type dot method, get type method dot name property. It'll return it's a string. But if you do the same with an object collection return from get process, while it may return an object to the pipeline that is not approved, so it's not an approved type. If you were to try and call methods from that, it won't work. So effectively, the reasoning why is that obviously you're still going to have commandlets that are going to return custom object types, but the means is that it's there to protect against execution of methods that shouldn't be there. So essentially, it can return a static object and that's it. So. But that's the whole kind of premise for me, is that if you want to learn something and you really want to learn it, go and teach. Now, you're going to have your lazy teachers out there, but for me, it's a matter of being able to actually fully understand something, and then from that, being able to actually get really good at it. Put it that way. It's something that you get very, very good at, because you have to learn it and you have to go above and beyond while learning what you need to learn, because you need to be able to answer questions. So it's now that still uses the same kind of thing. I'll still use videos, I'll still read books and things like that, but because I'm being forced in a position to be able to present, it kind of changes the paradigm and kind of forces me to learn more effectively. And as well as that, it's something that I can learn that's actually kind of interesting as well. So anywho, just quickly. Good. Um, anywho, let's carry on and let's go and have a look at. Okay, so what we've taken, so a couple of take homes from here is that Selenium can still be used to interact with the object. However, it's better to use the HTMLAgilityPack. So how do we connect the two? And that is actually super easy. Since we've got both of them sorted, what we can actually do here, let's just get the first child node and you'll see what's going on here. Let's just get the first child node from that. Let's see if this works. Cool, it works. All right, so the way we can do that is with our XPath. And this is the cool part, is that since we found it with the HTMLAgilityPack, we can use the XPath, because keep in mind, remember with our element, we can then basically put our XPath in here, which means we can actually effectively connect the two together and add a lot more search capability to it. That makes me wonder if I can actually build an add-on for Selenium Or maybe I just fork it and add the HTMLAgilityPack in it. I'm just thinking about this as a future project because the HTMLAgilityPack is a way... it's really useful. It's really, really good at what it does. And I'm just thinking... how could I use this? Okay, so let's just write a muck around function. Let's just call it find se text. And we're just going to go text string. So what we're going to do is, let's see. So we've got the HTMLAgilityPack loaded. So what we're going to do as element. Just thinking about this. Text string. Okay, so that's our text. So we kind of need to write a recursive query here. String, and then we can go. This is this is actually tough. How are they doing it in HTMLAgilityPack? We're seeing if there's a more effective way. For each HTML node, so they're just basically selecting nodes. In a HTML contains achievement. In HTML contains that. Select the single node, get the outer HTML. Okay. So what we're going to do... I'm just trying to think about this, how we want to do this. And this, by the way, I'm just spitballing here. We need to be able to pass the text string in and the node information in. And then we're going to need to have a begin block, process block, and an end block. Now, what we can do here is we can create a local one, call it found elements. We'll just create a string array. I'll just create an empty array. Okay, so what we need to do now is iterate through each of the nodes. We can just do while. Let's just do it for each node in node child nodes. We probably should change that something. We just call it n. And then from here, what we can do is, so that's going to iterate through our nodes. Let's just quickly check that. If there are nodes, which there are. Okay, so what we can then say is, I don't like this already. I think this is a better way to write this. So what we can say is, okay, what's the inner HTML? Let's have a look at what the inner HTML is. It's all that. It's gobbledygook. What's the text? And by the way, the function, actually, I was just thinking the function name should be find SC text because, is there a find? Yes. We should make that a find. So, child node has consent. We need to go to the bottom level. Okay. You can see if there's nothing there. Nothing there. Something there. Nothing there. All right, so this is what we're going to do now. So we can basically go and say if there are child nodes, iterate through them. If not, do a search. So we can just basically say, what's the easiest way to do this? Dot count. Okay, so let's just say if node.child nodes.count is not equal to 0, recurse. So what we then need to do is go found SC elements. No, we're actually going to need to go node.child nodes for each object. And honestly, in this case, we can actually just do a parallel. It can run all at the same time. We don't really care because we're just doing a search. We're not interacting with anything. We can then say found elements plus equals, and then we can call find SC element or SC text. Is there any find SC? No, there isn't. Cool. Find SC text. Pass the text string in, and then pass the child node in. Just use the token. Okay, so once we've done that, we can just wrap that in an else, and then we can basically say, well, actually, to be honest, I wouldn't really want to just put that in, I should probably want to say result equals if result is, we're just going to return a string. If string is null or empty, I'm just trying to remember which one it is in for each loop, which is return, and then we just add the X path. We could just add that like so. So then what we can do here, I'm just going to just call this. What we can do here is we can actually do our lookup. So here we can say else if node.inner HTML is equal to text string, or node.text. No, we'll just use the inner HTML. I think that's probably the better way to do it. And then what we can do is say if that's true, we can then go plus equals and then we can actually put the node XPath. So if we go XPath, you can see there we have our XPath. Is the begin and end blocks still function still run if the function isn't being fed parameters via pipeline, right? That's correct. It will still function as it is. The reasoning why is that I will probably transform it to be a little bit more pipeline friendly. But at the end of the day, though, yes, you can literally just get rid of all this, and basically have it as is. But for the time being, I'm just going to leave it as is. All right. So for each, and we can get rid of all that. If there are any child nodes, else if the inner HTML matches our text string. Add to the XPath list. So once we've done that, let's see what happens. Let's see if we can actually get this to work. Honestly, I'm not very. I think there's some bugs in here, but we'll just see how we go. So find SE text. So the first thing that we need to do now in find SE elements is basically pass. Well, do we? Well, yeah, we're passing it as an element. So let's just actually test the text first. Let's just run this. Let's call this and pop it in memory and see what happens. All right, so let's see our document. Cool. All right, so we're just going to pass in our document node like that. So we're going to find SE text string. We'll figure that out. Let's just say node is that. And let's go and have a look. Oh, I think my driver's crashed. Yep, my driver's crashed. Okay, so that's okay. We can just start a new driver. We've searched PowerShell anyway, so the HTML text should be the same anyway. So let's search for. Actually, let's search for this. Let's search for version that. Let's see if we can get that to work. Okay, cool. All right, so that's cool. All right, so let's search for that. Let's see what we get. Find SC text. Okay, so it's not happy about that. So I'll just put parameters on there. Reload it. Not the best way to write code, but we're just mucking around today. Okay, term file is not recognized. What's it recognized? Let's go restart this bad boy. That should have been recognized. Going to minimize that. AgilityPack. Oh, we've got to add type. String. Minimize. Okay, so whoops. Okay, cool. All right, so okay, so let's then load this in. You should be able to recursively call. Unless the parallel is causing issues. It could be. Get rid of that. Yeah, that's the reason why. All right, it didn't find anything. Yeah, that's not great. So let's just grab that. Let's create a new one. Create a new file. Okay, so let's just do that. Let's have a look. Let's have a look around here. So, the first thing that I'm interested in is the document node passing? Yes. Okay. So the document node's passing. Noble has no section copy. Okay. Cool. That's fine. So the next thing will be, can we? We're just going to run it, see what happens. Run and debug. Yeah, that's working. So I think the next thing that we need to do, I'm just actually going to be interested in drop that there. It never found anything. Okay, cool. All right, so that then leads me to believe that I have gotten something tragically wrong. Let's just have a quick look at this. Is it running there? Yeah, it's running in there. Still passing the nodes. So it's recursively searching. I'm just going to comment that out just to see. That shouldn't make a difference. I'm going to comment it out just to see. What do I do? There we go. Well, that ain't great. Yeah. It shouldn't have done that. Oh, because it's finding the node. It's adding the node. I don't want the node. What the? Okay, so there's a bug here. So for each object, child nodes calling that, if the result goes there, let's clean that up and let's rerun that. Okay, that's better. So what is document.node? Document node 5. Oops. I just want to see if I can write in the text. No. Okay. Ugh. We can definitely get it. We just got to muck around with it for a bit, I think. What I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go and actually find what it is, PowerShell. Drop that in. Open the DevTools, please. Copy the full XPath. And then we're just going to go... Oh, okay. Document dot find get um oh, I'm not in document mode. Attribute get in a direct in attack, get hashcode, get type. What I'm looking for is a method that we can use to actually just get the XPath or search for the XPath. I know there's a method that you can use for this. Okay. Is it element? I know there was a... I know there was a method you could actually just go and get it from the XPath. I just can't remember how to do it. Off to Google. Select by XPath. That's it. Where is select by XPath? Where is select by XPath? I think it must be. Is it? Oh, I think it was removed in .NET Core, if I remember now. This was one of the thing. I think one of the reasons why I had to use .NET 4.7. I'm now just going to do a quick bit of Googling. HTML doc, yeah, load HTML, HTML node, select single nodes. Yeah, that's fine. Document node, select single node. Oh, I can actually probably do it this way. Okay, let's try this. You could go document document node dot select. Is there any selects? I don't think there is. I think it might be element. We're just gonna try element. Let's try this. That didn't do anything. Off to Google. Yeah, they're all using document node, select single node, but that method's not available, and you can see here it's not available. All right, we've gotten that. We're going to load. Four, 5. I don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to try. Let's see if this works. Firstly, so we're using .NET 4.5 rather than while we're doing that, we're going to load the agility pack. So now the document should contain our code. The next thing we need to check is document node, get member. There they are. So we're going to use .NET 4.5 to do that because it's not available on core. That's fine. We can work with that. We can work with that. So what we can do now. And the thing is that when we're actually like if we were to develop this and bring it into production, you honestly just use .NET 4.5. We're not actually doing XPath searching anyway. We're just doing XPath searching here so that we can go and fetch the the actual the node or the element object containing the information, so I can actually see what the properties are that we need to search for. Okay, so we can now go document nodes, select nodes. Jump into Edge, copy as full XPath. Let's see if we get something here. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to put that there. So there's no... So where's the text? Where's the text? Inner HTML, which is what we have, and inner text which is what we have. So why isn't it recursively searching? Interesting. I'm going to bin this for the time being. This should be recursively searching. Find SC text string, yep, passes the node in. Ooh. So this is not recursively searching for some reason. Let's find that out. Let's find out. That's recursively searching 100%. Out of interest, though, that recursively searched. You can see the nested items within there. I'm just going to do this just for the sake of a little bit of quick crash debugging. So it's not going that deep. What we can actually do here is let's just wrap this in an else and just dump out the inner HTML. Put an else here. I was interested to see what is actually going to come out of this. We can dump that. Interesting. What are we searching for again? It could also be the case that it is like recursively searching it. It's just our text. Our text search itself is not good enough. Or it has a nested, I'm just looking at this. It could potentially have a nested element in it. All right, let's try this. Let's try, is a task automation, we're just going to search for that, and we're going to rewrite this. Actually, no, we're going to leave it like that. We're going to leave it. Oh, no, we'll go to do 2 tests. I think they're, paste that. Maybe what we can say is, because it's basically doing literal matching, that's why it's failing. So what we can do here is we can say Indian in a HTML. There's a lot. Wrap it. Yeah, I'm gonna need to wrap it. Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna wrap it like so. Wrap it like so. Which this is probably gonna work, but we'll find out. Okay, so let's just run that. Okay, so I don't know if, oh, let's just dump that. Let's clean that up. Okay, so it has returned it. We have 2 entries. Is a task automation. So if we jump back to the browser, let's see if that's true. It is. It found 2 of them. Cool. Okay, so this is going to work. What about this? Look at that. It found it. Cool. All right. All right. We're cooking with gas. So now we've got find SE text. Is our driver still working? It's completely broken. But what we can actually do, we're just going to restart this. Close down Edge. Load our driver. Minimize. Do that. So we're now loaded in the agility pack. And if we run this, oops, we rerun that, we get our div. Cool. All right, so what we need to do now before is we can actually do this. So we can actually go find SE element. I'll get find by, I'm just going to copy and paste it by CS by XPath. Target driver. By XPath target driver, and then we need to go selection. is that, and then we can go found elements for each object. And what we can do here is now we've got that. And if we rerun this, oh, okay, that didn't work. Unable to load path and element with the next path of that. Ah, well, that sucks. That's supposed to work. Let's have a look at it. That should be there. Okay, let's just run it. So it doesn't like the path. Why does it like the path? Like, what's wrong with this thing? So let's have a quick look at the, yep, we're here. I'm going to just have a look at what the XPath is here. Yep, let's copy that. Copy XPath. The reason why is because of the HTML body tags. If it thinks so, it actually has trouble finding the XPath. Well, that's a problem. We're going to have to fix up the XPath matcher then. I think it's because I'm just going to paste this in that. Let's copy full XPath. So it looks like it's different. Okay, so anything with a 1 in it, it doesn't, it just removes. Okay, let's try that then. Let's just do a find and replace. Find what? 1 replace with nothing. Got that. Nope, didn't like that. What about the parent? Can we get the parent? We get the parent if we keep the same thing? Oops. It can. Okay, so it's just because it can't get the child. So that means that we would just need to get the parent node and we're all good. Okay. That could produce problems though, but okay. So the way that we can do that, okay, let's just stop this. And let's get document dot oh gosh, I'm just having a massive memory blank. Document node. Yep. So let's go child node. Select the first child node. Yep, so that's a child node. That's how we're going to do it. So what we can do here, this is not perfect by the way, but we'll get it there. We can go node dot parent node dot xpath, and let's see if that fixes it. Oh, and our driver crashed. Reload the HTML. Oh boy, this is really not great. Let's just run this. Okay. So it can't find that? Okay, yep, that's fine. What's this? Okie dokie. So, how is that? Something's not happening there. Yeah, because it's... Still up and running, are we? Yeah, we're still up and running for the moment. Let's try that. What's that? Nothing. absolutely nothing. Let's try that again. So how is it able to go through the found elements when there's nothing in there? You know why? It's because it's trying to get it because it's recursive. We actually need a parent one. I'm just going to call it A. It's non-conventional, but oh well. So we do that. We find our text. Results. So we just do this. That's what happens when the WebDriver crashes. Chronically. Yeah. So we're going to go and restart all this. Let's just go ahead and do that. Just going to start PowerShell. Do that, bin that, restart that, and then just paste that in. Search PowerShell, load the HTMLAgilityPack, load the HTML in, go ahead and run this. There we go. That's our result. So now what we can do is we can actually search elements and get the actual element within the Selenium PowerShell module using the HTMLAgilityPack. And because we have the element object, we can do stuff with it. So this is actually really cool. So it just means that this method is able to iterate through a page, find the text, get all that information, and then basically return those elements that match that text. So that's actually a pretty cool win for today. Yeah, I thought that's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm just going to probably finish it up there for today. I might actually work on something a little bit more formalized in Selenium, or I build a third-party add-on tool. I might reach out to Adam, just scroll on that and just ask what's his thoughts on it. Because if we can use this, it just means that then it's a little bit easier. Now I just want to have a look at what the how the Selenium PowerShell module works. So if we have a quick look here, how is the code written? What's the PSM one? So it's PowerShell functions. Okay. So what we could probably do here is add-on for it. Oh, Alex made an add-on. What did he do? What did Alex make? What did you commit? It's always interesting is seeing when my colleagues are actually making changes as well. Let's have a look at what your contributors are. Can you tell me what your contributors are? Where did you contribute? Contribution, creative repositories. Where did you contribute? Where did you contribute, mate? Alex is really cool too. A lot of respect for him. Very interested to see what you committed. I can't see the commit history. I want to see the commit history. So yeah, I might actually reach out to Adam Discroll and see if I can actually add that functionality into the module, so that people can actually search for texts. I'm going to have to refactor this a little bit, but essentially using the HTMLAgilityPack provides a lot more functionality and flexibility there, and expands the ability to be able to actually work with the Selenium itself. Because it seems still right now it's quite difficult, but if you can obviously have things like searching, text searching, that's going to really make people's lives a lot easier. So I will do that shortly after this, and yeah. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.